Peace FM 104.3. Good to meet you.
It has it. Nearly kind. My member, many opinion, Dr. Mohamed Amin, do not have friend Anta Abasu. I mean, he's walked into the shoes of the finance minister very, very well. We can na yembi ye kase ora keno for yata wabo ministry hot trukano is all contem. And like we said, Oba as a fresh face with new ideas, yeah, it buys you some goodwill. And Sebi, you say, Benokramu is saying, so, unready anicha na crache na asai.
I say, in future to me,
Bibisa. Nti, Oche Honum, no, ono Fitiasiano na on Shadam 1 number ye. We thought we could manage him. And no better say, Massa, manager, more managing media, me, so no brutal, na me come baby. And when we discovered, say, we all cried to Mampens on, and away,
Chese, Enkoyi, Nana.
Enkoyi, we was happy, Mammy Bonabasu, he's held the fort since he assumed the office. Why are there? And I'm impressed. Look, anytime I see an economist doing well in a particular position, I get impressed. Okay. Because as an accountant, as an economist. What am I saying?
Me guys say Oba Afufrona me one of these social media posts from somebody I mean almost say Ofuriata Crow no year finance president so not energy expert.
No, he's an economist too.
No, but people don't know that side of him.
No, he's an economist. He's only focused on aging economics, like in his PhD.
But people don't know that side of him.
Economics, what branches, baby. Natural resource economics, energy economics, macroeconomics. Obiani here.
In fact, your Gambaga economics.
What I say? Obiani, what interests him or her? And the fact that he decided to focus on energy economics in terms of economist, Debbie. Now, having said so, Maminka said, usually, sir, media review, as the name suggests, it gives us an opportunity to do a review of how the fiscal year ended. You presented budget in November, and we don't have the benefit of data for the last quarter of the fiscal year. And to review, okay, this is how we fared getting to the end of the year. Now, Afi, yetimi actually some of the fiscal and financial developments in the first 2 quarters of the year. Now, whether some of the macroeconomic targets we are revising and as we are maintaining, and how some of them have fared in as before. And if there is a need, say, abandon the supplementary budget, Beba and not the Aba. And thankfully, my issue has always been say Ghana have a problem case here. Any elections that destroy the gains we've made in managing our economy, so that the elections now we go back to square one. Your friend no political business cycle. A business cycle is such that you have fluctuations and then trends. And the fluctuations around the trend your friend cycles, And with the bad politics and economics more, you have situations so you be on a good trajectory. Do elections now nyoma ATSM. So you begin to have, some terrible outcomes in some of your indicators in the election year. We are. So if, for example, into your cycles so you would realize that even in economic growth, and now when it comes to GDP, there are times your economic growth, some would say is prosperity. It may bad down when your economy can decline and then go up. So up and down on every cycle around. A common trend is what they call the cycles. And in the same manner, elections are yet me na economy need tumpon. Elections are now starting back from Nti sana that kind of fluctuations no so ntina say a friend political business cycle, because it's a business cycle, all right, but some of the fluctuations tend to happen mostly during the election year. Now enya dia ebua enkankan I can say developing countries. Nti the conversation is a yen share na yembo en humodin if your economy is on an upward trajectory, men sign up because you are in an election year. Try to maintain upward trend,
For that discipline.
Discipline, And one of it is to ensure that you don't do irrational expenditures in an election year. The temptation is a drew honum now, one year, votes inti. Udru anesi yesi maya. Now you are just promising and you are spending without recourse to what that would do to your economy. And one of the things to ensure that you don't have overruns, any to cut down on expenditure and not to have irrational expenditures. And the only way I would have had, overruns would have been if the minister decided, introduce some supplementary budget. But I'll say we are keeping to the promise of not falling victim to cycle until you fast supplementary budget account. Until for me on that score, a idea is now secondly, so we'll share some of the developments, fiscal developments in by the end of the year 2023. Some did well, some did not, but that is expected. A program now, it yielded some gains. We are still trying to do a lot more until it is understandable. But we share debt developments now. Still a hard journey. We share by the end of the fiscal year, by the end of 2023, our central bank debt, our central government debt, total central debt, central government debt, and now you can easily just see public debt. Now is 608.4 billion Ghana cedis. Wow. Now between that time and as of June of this year, asag manhuso ako 742 billion, which means there has been a significant increase of almost, in fact, of over 136 billion. Now, baby, way is all because of Kanu. Kanadi and Bedru, baby, ya Bedri. But it appears we are not slowing down anytime soon. And Kenya, I'm a French Ukraine, and Bia would have done even much more than that. But idea, look, when we reconfigured the you can say some of the indicators, when we reconfigured our economy, like when we change the reference year and rebase the economy, you would realize that debt to GDP, but see, as we are still going back to the troubled waters Nibium, because as at now it stands at 70.6% of GDP, and idea a hard journey. Now, media, I don't know what we need to do collectively, but some of the things I bet me here, and it's we need to begin to increase in a meaningful way. We can increase your revenue now. I'm not just talking about politicians can say increase revenue. No, in a meaningful way, in a practical way. Yamfa and Shishebin Tuakwemu, and I'm happy, sir, Cecilia, with the kind of digital addressing system now, and sad tin numbering now, Cecilia has become a requirement to do some business, and most importantly, Ghana Cardi. It should help us, or it should be able to help us increase our revenues. A lot of us don't pay taxes, and it is because it is not easy to trace Ghana for Ntinipani avoid the tax or evade the tax now is difficult. But with some of these arrangements, it should form the springboard for us to be able to increase our revenue collection. And the idea, it is one of the surest ways to help us reduce the extent to which our year borrow. We share inflation as at the end of the year 2023, the data HSI is stood at 23.2%. Now, by June, it only inched a little to 22.8%. Mika headline inflation. It means that even though but that is not to discount the fact that by the end of the year, now you're tier free from 56%. I mean, that's, some good development.
Peace FM 104.3. Good to meet you.